My daughter-in-law just pulled the dumbest move of her entire spoiled little life. An hour ago, I got a text. It read, "Borrowed your old ring for the big party, Grandma. Hope you don't mind." I hit reply with a smile. "Have fun, dear." But before that message even delivered, I was dialing George's number, my lawyer. "Register the theft of inventory item 847, I told him, a $3 million pink diamond ring. 60 minutes later, the cops busted into that swanky Beverly Hills gala where Sophia was showing off my heirloom, thinking she'd snagged some little worthless trinket. If you're watching this, you need to hear the rest of this story, because it's a cold, hard lesson in underestimating the old lady. My name is Olivia, I'm 71, and for the last decade I've been treated like the invisible mother-in-law, the old woman just getting in the way at family gatherings. To my daughter-in-law, Sophia, I was nothing more than an annoying old woman living in the $1 million estate my late husband Robert left me. Sophia is one of those women who thinks the world owes her everything, draped in designer clothes and flashing gaudy jewelry Derek bought to keep her happy. From the moment she stepped foot in my house in the Hamptons, she treated me like her personal maid. "Olivia, make me some coffee. Olivia, iron my black dress. Olivia, don't make noise when you walk. I have a headache." At Sunday dinners, she'd talk about me like I wasn't even sitting there. "Derek, your mother should really think about a nursing home. This house is too big for someone her age." And my son, my own son Derek, would just mumble, "Mom's fine here, Sophia." I saw his eyes changing though. Sophia had been chipping away at him, whispering that I was a burden, that they needed the space for their plans, turning my living room into her office, transforming the garden Robert and I cultivated for 40 years into some kind of modern entertainment area. For years, I endured her humiliations in silence. When she threw parties, I had to hide in my room because, according to her, old people make others feel uncomfortable. There were nights I cried, wondering how I became a ghost in the home I built with love. You see how easily she dismissed me, how easily she could have won. You might be invisible to someone in your life right now, and if you keep scrolling without hitting that subscribe button, you're telling the algorithm that you're just another ghost who doesn't matter. Don't let them win. Tap subscribe right now. If you won't, drop a comment and tell everyone why you're okay with staying invisible. What Sophia didn't know, what no one in my family knew, was that Robert left me a lot more than just the house. During our final years, he secretly collected valuable art, antiques, and jewelry. In a secret safe behind a painting in my room, I kept a collection worth over $15 million. Among those pieces was the ring Sophia just borrowed. It was a $3 million 5-carat pink diamond masterpiece from the 1920s. To an amateur, it looked like an elegant antique, but to an expert, it was priceless. This morning, I watched her sneak into my room, open my small jewelry box, the one with the cheap stuff, and her eyes locked right onto it. She saw an old ring she could use for her charity gala, one of those pretentious events where wives compete to flash the most impressive bling. She just took it, assuming everything I owned was hers for the taking. That text message? That was the straw that broke the camel's back. After a decade of insults, this was a straight-up insult to Robert's legacy. I smiled, texted back, "Have fun, dear," and then I called my lawyer, George. "It's time to activate the protocol you and Robert designed," I told him. "Sophia just stole inventory item 847. George was surprised, but I was done being invisible. The plan was simple. The ring was officially registered and insured for its full $3 million value. Report it as a theft and the police get a warrant immediately. I spent 10 years watching her use me like a doormat. I heard her telling her sister Ashley that I was pathetic and that she couldn't wait to throw out my ugly antiques. That was the last time I cried. Now, it was time for the fallout. But before I tell you what the lawyer and the private investigator uncovered that made the theft of a $3 million ring look like child's play, are you really going to walk away right now? Do you want to miss the sweet revenge? If you abandon me now, you're just proving you don't have the stomach for justice. Subscribe right now, or hit the comments and admit you're a coward who bails when things get heavy. The phone rang. It was Derek. He was absolutely panicking. "Mom, what the heck is going on? The cops just stormed Sophia's party. They're saying she stole a $3 million ring." "It's not a mistake, son," I answered calmly. "Your wife took a very valuable piece from your father's collection without permission." He was shocked. He didn't even know his own father had built this massive secret fortune. Her reputation is ruined, he cried. Her reputation? I countered. What about the 10 years I've spent being treated like trash in my own home? What about that conversation where she told Ashley I was pathetic? Derek went silent. He'd heard it too, and he'd done nothing. George, my lawyer, arrived with Peter, a private investigator. They hadn't just been waiting for Sophia to make a mistake. They'd been investigating her for months. The truth was worse than I could have imagined. Sophia hadn't just been humiliating me. She had been stealing from me for almost 2 years. Little things at first. Antique brooches, earrings, selling them at pawn shops all over the city for about $45,000. She only took pieces you rarely wore, Peter explained. She was mentally cataloguing everything, thinking you were too senile to notice. All those expensive handbags and designer dresses Sophia used to look down on me, they were financed by stealing from the useless old woman. They had all the evidence. Now, the final decision was mine. Press charges for grand larceny, the $3 million ring, and the 12 counts of petty theft. I could send her to prison for over a decade. If you were in my shoes, would you show mercy to someone who planned to steal everything from you? If you don't subscribe now, it means you don't believe in karma. Hit that subscribe button to demand justice, or comment right now to explain why you think she deserves a pass. When we walked into that Midtown Manhattan hotel lobby, the scene was epic. Cops, reporters, and the city's elite whispering and pointing. Sophia was sitting there, her designer dress wrinkled, her perfect makeup streaked with tears, her hands cuffed. Derek rushed me, shouting, "Mom, you have to fix this. She's being publicly humiliated because of you." "Liam, your wife stole a $3 million ring," I said. "This isn't a misunderstanding over a trinket. This is a serious crime." Peter showed him the file, the pawn shop photos, the sales receipts. Derek's world shattered. The woman he married was a thief who had been exploiting his own mother. "Did you give your daughter-in-law permission to take the ring?" Detective Miller asked me. "Absolutely not," I answered. "Taking something without permission is called stealing." Sophia shouted from her seat, "Grace, please, I've always treated you with respect." "Respect?" I walked toward her. "Respect is stealing from me for 2 years and then calling me senile?" She went white when Peter showed her the photos of her at the pawn shops. "I never thought you would notice," she mumbled. "I thought you had forgotten about them." "Detective Miller," I said with a calm I hadn't felt in a decade, "I want to press all possible charges." Sophia screamed as the detective read her Miranda rights. "Grace, you don't understand what you've just done. You'll lose your son forever." I looked at Derek. "Is that how you feel, son?" He stood there, silent for a long moment. Finally, he shook his head. "No, Mom. My marriage was destroyed the moment Sophia decided to steal from you. I just didn't realize it until now." But then Peter handed me one last folder. "Mrs. Olivia, we found emails where Sophia was planning to have you declared mentally incompetent." "That's right. She was actively plotting to use my perceived forgetfulness to legally take over the entire inheritance. She didn't just want the jewelry, she wanted everything. She was preparing for my death and planning to steal the future from Derek and me. If you don't subscribe right now, you're basically admitting you're an easy target. Don't let the manipulators win. Show me that you're watching, that you care about justice, and that you won't be next. Subscribe now, or tell me in the comments why you think a victim like me should just roll over." Sophia was arrested for first-degree grand larceny, multiple counts of petty theft, and fraud. She was looking at up to 15 years in a state prison. I looked at Derek. "For 10 years, you were a silent accomplice to your wife's abuse," I said. "Now you know the truth." He finally saw his silence for what it was, a betrayal. The sweetest revenge wasn't seeing her led away in handcuffs. The sweetest revenge was rebuilding myself. The invisible old woman who almost lost everything finally found her voice, her power, and her purpose. You've heard the whole story. You know the price of silence and the consequence of greed. If you made it this far and still aren't subscribed, you're missing out on every single lesson in life. And honestly, you might be the next target. Don't stay silent. Subscribe now to join the community that fights back, or comment below and confess why you don't think this kind of justice is important enough to